Hey, Marco.
Hey, Greg. Um, I've been having sort of intermittent lightheadedness. You and I had a little correspondence about it a couple of weeks ago,
Hmm.
and I can't see any pattern in when it happens and when it doesn't happen. And then uh, last evening, I got full dizziness.
You are getting dizziness.
Well, it happened last evening, and it lasted about 2 or 3 hours. And I kind of thought it was um, BPPV, and um, and I took a dose of homeopathic Briona alba.
Hmm.
The dizziness actually left after I don't know, 3 hours or maybe a little bit more. Um, but there was still like a little bit of lightheadedness. And then I happened to read this week's Daily Dose about peppermint, which
Hmm.
talks about um, uh, lightheadedness.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so I just wanted to know if you have any suggestions.
Well, that's actually the thing. Like, what did we have you do last time? Usually, hiss up is what I go to right off the bat. But
Well, what you had me do last time is inula and then the fear oils,
okay,
um, and that um, helped the fear some, but the dizziness still. I'm sorry, I
dizziness is
could
still
call it
there.
dizziness. The lightheadedness is what the dizziness was only last night. The lightheadedness is what has
Yeah.
been ongoing. And I don't think this makes any difference, but I had done earlier in the day yesterday a foot bath with chocolate root
Huh?
cleanser and inhaled heliochrysum. I mean, I think, could they be connected?
I would think not, but
Well,
also
yeah.
anything goes. Like you know what I mean. Like it could have stirred something up. It could be like, are you getting going back to how we were talking about with the last person, when you walk, is your tracking okay? Are you getting clumsy at all? Like, do you bump
Mm,
into things or drop things real easy?
no, no,
Okay.
my walking is
So,
fine.
so good.
Yeah.
So I think it's just more of an inner ear thing. And uh, do you have hyssop?
I do. Yeah.
And do you have peppermint?
I don't have peppermint yet, but
Like, let's see how the hyssop does. Like, what I was going to have you do is go back and forth between hyssop and the peppermint. Let's
uh-huh.
just have you do hyssop. I mean,
Okay.
a lot of times we can knock it out with hyssop, but that it's been going on and that it lasted for 3 hours. That's a little while. Usually there's like shorter bouts, but when it starts to be like a long bout like that, I usually like to get a little bit more aggressive in how I treat it. So um, you don't really have to direct it anywhere. Just kind of inhale the hyssop 15, 20 times, give yourself a break. 15, 20 times, give yourself another break. 15, 20 times. Like, keep doing it. And you could even just lay in bed and do it until you kind of fall asleep. Or even in the middle of feeling dizzy, pull out the hyssop and really start inhaling it. But I would say get some peppermint too at some point, and then just go back and forth. Like, inhale the hyssop, then inhale the peppermint, and then inhale the hyssop, inhale the peppermint, and usually that will knock it out. There is a condition called viral neuritis that can throw off the inner ear and cause dizziness, and so I do have a blend for that. Even if you don't have the viral neuritis, still the nerves can get inflamed, and so I'll still use that same blend. Um,
And maybe
we
that would um I mean, because it seems to be ongoing, but
right,
just intermittent.
yeah.
So I should get maybe that one, the
I,
viral.
I I would probably get the peppermint, And
Okay.
we were just talking about lantana for the sternocleidomastoid with the person before. The
Yes.
I would maybe do that as well. Like the thing with the inner ear is it's heavily impacted by the sternocleidomastoid, which are these two rope muscles that come down
Right.
and
Yeah.
they pass over and can compress the carotid sinus, which can throw the blood off in the head, which can make you a little dizzy, or they'll throw off the inner ear. And so um, one of the things to pay attention to, like since you're doing okay right now, let's not have you do it, but one of the ways that you kind of can check for it is like you just tilt your head back, as far as it can go and leave it there for like 10, 15 seconds and then bring it back in doing that. If it's heavily impacted by the sternocleidomastoid, that will make you dizzy or lightheaded,
Well,
because the pressure, like when you go like this, you're putting a little bit more pressure over the carotid sinus and boom. So it's more the blood part than anything, but
I've noticed that not all the time, but sometimes when I tip my head back, it intensifies the lightheadedness. And
okay.
yesterday, when I tipped my head forward, it would do that.
Yeah, that's the trapezius. Okay. So let's definitely have you do the lantana. Like
Okay, and
peppermint and
peppermint,
lantana. Yeah.
but
And you
and
have the
and
hiss up. So you're just going to rotate all three. Just the once you get it, I'd probably go a little heavier on hyssop and a little heavier on lantana, but still put peppermint in the mix.
okay,
And like the three, that should really knock that out. I mean, if it doesn't, then bring it to my attention because then we got to be a little bit more aggressive about what we do. And it's not that it's anything harsher, but it starts to get really more specific. And a lot of times these general things don't get dressed by the really specific blend that for the neuritis. And so I'd rather really make sure that the neck is all unwound and the breath is okay before because that was even the idea with the anula is to deepen the breath, relax the diaphragm, like all of that. A lot of times that will knock it out. But let's have you try these three. And then from
okay.
there, we'll look at the neuritis component if it doesn't get better.
And so do I just do this like for how long? I mean, I'm
I would do it for like probably, even if you feel better, I'd probably do it for like a week to 2 weeks. And then from time to time, just tune it up for a little bit.
and how long, I mean, how often during the day?
I would do it like in the evenings if you feel up to it. I do it morning and night,
Okay,
but I would keep one of them in your pocket just in case you get a little bit of a flare up and you're in the middle of doing something, a way to kind of be able to pull yourself out of it when it's happening. Probably the hiss up is the one that I'd keep in the pocket,
okay,
but yeah,
okay, good. Oh, thank you so much.
you're so welcome. But keep us posted, okay?
Yeah, thank you.